live. We are live. We are live. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Talk Live here on IG and YouTube. Yes, all black everything, ladies and gentlemen. Theme of the show, and here we go. But it also is it goes to the meaning of Arsenal having a win in the Champions League, and this is their Champions League year, to be fair. So again, yes, rhyming again. But yes, yeah, I never knew that Netflix was televising the Paul Tyson event. Yes, indeed, that should be fun. That should be FUN. Anyway, so never knew they were getting into fight game Netflix, but they are indeed. But thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and thank you for all of your input efforts. The numbers are going up, and we are starting to see them. So again, like, subscribe to Talk Live, TDT Live. We are going from strength to strength, and I'm looking forward to more success with you together. And I appreciate you joining me tonight. Let me just fix the camera here. Just 1 second. Boom, we're good. And we're good over here as well. So thank you very much for joining me at Talk Live. Yes, indeed. This is indeed the European Arsenal warm-up kit. So again, I thought I'd wear it tonight because Arsenal won in their European effort. And anytime Arsenal win, and I'm on air, I tend to wear the color, wear the standard. So here I am in their European standard. So again, let's get to it, because since I'm wearing black, and since I'll be talking black, I wouldn't say talking black. I'll be speaking on black male issues tonight. So thank you very much for joining me at Talk Live. We're gonna talk about, quite simply, some statistics that are still out there, still stereotypes that are still out there, trying to break those down. Because if not for us, if not for me, if not for black men around, on YouTube or within the black male diaspora, then who would it be? So we have to do it ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, quite simply and plainly. So thank you very much for joining me at Talk Live. It's been a minute since I've done something like this before, and I thought, why not tonight? So we're gonna do it tonight, as it is a slow week in terms of red pill content in celebrity. But again, I will be doing some more research on that. So do stay with me on Talk Live. But sponsored by Dun Talk, of course, DUNTALK.com. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into the browser, bang, and we're going to go into, yes, indeed, Media Man. Media Man, let me tell you something. He's doing wonderful, wonderful things on YouTube Street, especially for black male content, especially for in terms of basically leveling the playing field in terms of us and black male individuals, especially black male diaspora in the Western world. And yes, here we have a video that states IG blogger says black women's marital rates are low because they're race loyal to black men. Yes, indeed, they're only marrying black men out there, so that's the reason why their marital rates are low. But again, we're going to dispel those rumors and many others tonight. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's get into this right now, as I watch the Celtics literally obliterate the New York Knicks tonight. Yeah, they just got their rings, and the NBA season is back, ladies and gentlemen, which I am very, very happy about. I do love the NBA. I do love my basketball, so having that in the background and this in the foreground. But anyways, let's get into this with the one and only Media Man. Doing wonderful things in these YouTube streets. I'm an avid watcher, subscriber, and yeah, shout out to you, Media Man. And yeah, hopefully we'll do a collaboration one day. But again, I know he's a soloist, and I respect that. I do respect that. So let's get into it right now and Talk Live. Let's go.
And I enjoy their content. But if it's somebody that's, putting out false narratives about black men and black women, no, I don't follow those people. And if they get too crazy, I go ahead and block them. And again, shouts out to this lady. Her name is Ebony, I believe Ebony Ford. You guys are gonna recognize her face because she says some of the craziest stuff. And for some odd reason, she has a beeline to black men, because every time she posts a video, black men are in the comments kind of fighting for their lives. And I'm going to tell black men like this right now before we start. You guys can take a back seat. This is not about you. at all. Because if you've been following my platform, you know the statistics. So I didn't even go as far as to get the
I do know the
screenshots and
statistics as well. Yes.
the graphs and the statistics and what's saying it. But trust and believe that I will clip those in once I put this video out. And I edit the video and I put it out. You guys know these statistics. So basically, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna dismantle her points step by step using the statistics, and then we'll go from there. Okay? Like I said, black men love reacting to this woman, and I'm gonna set the record straight. And also, I've done multiple videos about this topic before in regards to black women being the least married. So it's always a good thing to do a refresher video to remind the black community on where we stand in regards to marriages and divorces. Okay? So yeah, so let's get to it. I know that was long, but pause. But we have to do that disclaimer on YouTube, and on Instagram, because I don't want things to get misconstrued like I'm doing something that I'm not. Okay? So let's get to it.
This stat as if it's some blemish on the character of black women. Did y'all ever think that black women are the least married because we're the most loyal? We just seem to absolutely refuse to date outside of our race.
So, in the chat, do y'all agree with that? We discussed.
Well, again, before he gets into this, and we have talked about this on lengthily, if that's a word. I think it is a word. On Talk Live right here on IG and YouTube. Thank you very much for joining me. Yes, indeed. We know that, if you have been following me, is an absolute lie. And I'll let my media man break it down for you. Again, for those who are late to the party, please like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and comment below regarding how your feelings on these certain statistics that are actually from the U.S. Census, and I think they mirror most of the Western world. Let's continue.
This before, and this is a common talking point that black women have. They say that they are so loyal to black men that they refuse to date outside their race. Now, this is where black men can just, take a seat, because I'm going to talk directly to black women. In order for you guys to say that you're just simply race loyal to black men, then you have to be wanted at a higher rate from other races of men. Is that happening? No. But what is happening is black women expressing their love and their admiration for non-black men, specifically white men. You can see this all on TikTok. You can see it on Instagram. Every month, a black woman goes viral for expressing their love for white men in particular.
I've never seen an unhappy black woman with a fine-ass white man. I've never seen it. And we could talk about it more. Because the ones that be happy as hell with their white man, they be getting everything that they want. And that's going to be me next. Happily.
Good luck with that. If you know white guys like I do, they are going nowhere near you. Unless they're into black culture, they're going nowhere near you. So you're basically getting a lighter shade of brown, basically. But they're going nowhere near you. But I'll let you continue. I'll let you shoot your shot. Go ahead.
In love, living a life, they man spoiling them. They just open it. Where the white man at? I'm at the point where I'm sick. Like I am.
You're going nowhere near you. Absolutely nowhere near you. Your look denotes black man. Black man. I wouldn't say attraction. There's nowhere near, unless, again, a white guy's into black culture, they're going nowhere near you. And even then, they don't want... I've lived around white guys all my life, okay? I'll say this right. I know how to code switch with the best of them. And I'll say this. It is a rare occasion you'll see a black man with, a white woman, a white man with a black woman like this. Absolutely not. It will not happen. The hair is too cultural. She's too loud, too rambunctious, too aggressive, too masculine. Nowhere near is a white guy coming towards you. Absolutely not. Especially when they have fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive women right in their corner already there. They're not coming for you. But again, I'll let you shoot your shot.
Y'all give nothing no more. So I'm dating out of my comfort zone now, and I'm gonna get me a Caucasian man. So where y'all at?
I'm fully aware that I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I am so effing tired of the amount of emotional labor that comes with dating black men. I am so tired of the lack of commitment, the lack of support, the lack of encouragement, the lack of money. Like,
could it be that the black men that you're attracting have all these things because they give you the feels and not the reals? There are so many black men with money, but you're not attracted to them because, quite simply, they don't have that street cred. They don't have that that sense of danger. They don't have these that sense of dread. That sense of that urban hood mentality that you're attracted to. That's who you're drawing towards you, quite simply. So if you are really attracted, because there are nerdy black men, but you don't want and nowhere near to them. You're attracting a certain type of man. What you want is a sort of James Bond, some sort of Bruce Wayne, some sort of Daredevil, Brad Pitt, George Clooney character, but they're not getting anywhere near you. I'm just saying. You're the least married in most resorts for a reason, and you're attracted to a certain type of man, and it's nowhere near a white man. So, but I'll let you shoot your shot. Listen, I am not one who will disallow black women to shoot their shot. Please shoot your shot. Go ahead.
I don't know what to do from this point on, but I can tell you one thing. My interest in dating another black man is like 1% at this point. They want us to be ride or dies until they get their shit together, and then they don't want to support us in return. They don't want to commit to us. They don't want to marry us, but then they want all the benefits of being a husband without
because
us.
You're not going to get a fit, well, you're getting a fit girl with you, but you're not going to get a feminine, a friendly, a cooperative, and submissive woman when you deal with a black woman. More often than not. But let me say this, and it's been featured on Talk Live before. Black women will change their behavior for a white man, but sooner or later, your mask will start to slip, and you will show your true colors. So, yeah, miss me with the fact that you want a white guy because you're not going to straighten out for him. You're not going to want him. He's not going to provide that sense of dread and toxicity and and foreboding that you're looking for from a man in your past, and you still want from a man today. So again, it's I don't see it happening. I really don't see it happening. Plus, you got the nose ring as well. They dislike that. So if you're not feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, you're not doing it. Your fitness, yes, it's there. But again, they'll see you as more of a fetish, and they'll try and sleep with you rather than date you. So let you shoot your shot. Again, go, do it.
Actually proposing to us. I need someone who's intentional in every.
Oh, wait! And is that a baby I see in the back of your car? I mean, okay. You, not to say that you won't be successful, but chances of you having a black baby in the back of the car and a white guy coming for you is about slim and none. So I don't know what you're talking about. You should have married the man that you had that baby with, and more often than not, he was a hood Negro, a man of the streets. So yeah. You dealing with a white guy anytime soon who's not into black culture, who is the stereotypical white dude, is slim and none, and that's who you're attracted to, right? Okay, all right, yeah, continue. I'll allow you. Yeah, keep going.
Aspect.
Black men, y'all need to do better. Y'all really need to do better. There is no reason why I should.
We're doing better on you, but we're going to show that a little later. But I'll let her continue. Well, please, go ahead.
I have a white man, a 6'2", 220, white collar, blue jeans and white sneakers wearing white man. Sit right in my face, look me dead in my eyes, didn't blink or stutter not nail one time, and tell me that he cannot understand for the life of him how a black man who looks homeless has the audacity or the courage to approach a black woman.
Because that's who you're attracted to, my dear, unfortunately. But, hey, listen, not to say that you don't deserve a high-value black man. There's no doubt about that. But the fact of the matter that you let this man pander to you, and then you say he can't understand why a black man of a certain character and status and socioeconomic level is not coming for you. Well, again, let me say this. They will come for you, but you reject them. They are, listen, you want him to be a corporate demon and yet be hood smart. You want him to carry himself well among his white colleagues and yet be a man who has street cred. To get both together is a very, very, listen, I have been there and I have done that. To get those two going together is a very, very rare. It's very, very rare indeed. And for you to take the white compliment and see it as being a path into whitedom and into a white man's heart is, well, I would say it is, a slim and none chance. And more often than not, you're the least married and most divorced for a reason, and your birth rates are of a certain level, and we'll discuss that later on Talk Live, believe me, for a reason. And I mean, they're catering to you, they're pandering to you, that's fine. And if you want to go that way, that's well and good. But realize that more often than not, they're just there to sleep with you. They're trying to get in bed with you. They'll say whatever, they'll do whatever in order to get that end result. So, for you to get sky high off these comments, you know, it's small change. Very small change.
And he didn't just say a black woman. He said a fine, good-looking black woman. Huh? He said if he had that type of courage, if he looked like that, I couldn't even be mad at him. I couldn't even.
You know he's trying to sleep with you, right? Just saying.
Defend my brothers. Brother, it's true, the audacity of some of these black men coming up to beautiful-looking black women looking like lumps. Y'all are embarrassing. Y'all are embarrassing yourselves. Get it together.
Who are you attracting? That's the question. But I'll let my man continue. Let's get into it.
But white men are listening to you guys. You guys are helping them grow their platform. And they're turning the other way, marrying their own women, which is what most people do. And then they'll go straight to the Hispanics and they'll go to Asian women. That's how the hierarchy goes. White men.
That is absolutely true. That's who white men marry if they're going to go outside their race. They're going to go Asian first, then they go to Latina, then they'll... that is even before they get to their own white women, then black women, if they meet a certain standard, have a certain look, have a certain weight weight ratio, if they're not them, if it's not them for themselves as a white man, and they you somehow get through. Let me say this for the cheap seats. We understand you've been trying this for centuries. It's not something that is new. This is not something that just came out of the blue within the last 20, 30 years. This has been going on for 300 plus. In the Western world, 300 plus years. And white guys didn't take you then, and they're not taking you now, because there's a wider choice of women that meets their standard who they'll choose first. Understand that, get that through your head, and if they're going to be choosing you, chances are they want to sleep with you and get that certain tick off their to-do list and move on. There it is. I didn't mean to say it, but it's true. Okay, let's continue. Seems to be operating a little slower now, but it's going to get back there. There we go.
Men marry their women at over an 80% clip. Then they go to Hispanics, then Asians, and then they go to black women at the lowest rate. So let me be clear to the black women that keep pushing this word, just race loyal to black men. Married white men only marry black women at a 0.5% clip. Married black women are only married to white men at a 6.5% clip. So put that into perspective, and I hope you guys understand. White men have a larger population. So if they have a larger population, then that would assume that there's more white men to marry black women. But they're not doing that. It's at 0.5%. And I understand black women, that you'll go on TikTok and you'll see a white man spoiling a black woman, a beautiful black woman, right? This is the avatar of black women's dreams. They'll see this white man, older white man, spoiling some young black woman, married. She going to the store shopping, and then you'll log into Instagram and you'll see the same thing. And those white men are saying, yeah, I love black women. You know, I married a black woman. They're doing everything great, which is perfectly fine. However, black women need to start asking those white men, do you have any friends? Because as of now, white men are not marrying black women like that.
Stop it right there. Ladies and gentlemen, Media Man is absolutely correct. There are more white men than black women in the United States, more or less in anywhere in the Western world, if not the world. Well, pretty much the rest of the world. And yet, why are black women the least married and most divorced? If there are all these white men that you wish to be catered to, why are they not coming to you? Why are they not marrying you? I'll tell you why in a minute. I'll tell you why in just a bit. But let me say this. They have a wider choice of men. I mean, a wider choice of men. A wider choice of women in which to choose from. There are their own white women. They have Hispanic women. They have They have Asian women. They have Indian women. They have, more or less Middle Eastern women. All these different women under the sun. And they choose you last. And there are more white men to go around than anyone else. The fact of the matter is they're not attracted to you. For the most part, they're not. They can't deal with the attitude. They can't deal with your weight. They can't deal with your non-femininity. And you can't be cooperative. You can't be submissive. For the most part. So, therefore, they don't want to deal with you. They'll only deal with you last. And let me say this. You do yourself no favors with your image, your self-image within pop culture. It's doing you a huge disservice, absolutely huge. They see it as being prototypical of most black women, and they won't come for you. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it to you blunt. If you want this, fine, we understand that, but they're not coming for you. All they want to do is have a little boom boom and move on. If you have a baby, so be it. I'll pay the child support, but I don't want to be dealing with you. That is the long and the short, the big and basic truth. And if they're marrying you, you must be an added bonus to him. So therefore, you must be doing better than them, or they must be getting some sort of benefit from you. See Serena Williams and Alex Ohanian. Serena Williams is worth much more than Alex Ohanian, who starred Alex Ohanian. Therefore, he is with her. He sees a benefit in being with a black woman. If he doesn't see a benefit of being with you, he ain't gonna be. There it is. Am I bringing it down to you now? Are you seeing the signs? I'm just trying to say.
But on social media, it may look like that because you got 2 or 3 couples that are, white men, black women, and you guys idolize them. And that's okay. But your gripe, black women, is not with black men. Black men have nothing to do with this. Your gripe or complaints should be with white men or non-black men. Don't even bring us into it because it has nothing to do with us. If your desire is to marry outside of your race, then you need to start going to the source. Don't go to black platforms and talk directly to black men and be like, hey, yeah, we gonna marry white men or we gonna date white men. Don't tell us. Tell them. Tell white men what you're trying to do, because if y'all are so race loyal, and I'm saying that that's not true, and there's an abundance of black women that want to date and or marry out of their race.
Realize that 46 have never married black women ready for marriage. Yeah, exactly. Never black women ready for marriage. So therefore, they're all ready for marriage, but they're not coming for you. They're not coming for you. And the ultimate reason why, I'll reveal in a bit. I'll reveal at the end of this video. I'll reveal why they are not coming for you, and it's gonna shock you. It's gonna really, really shock you. But I'll let this go.
Then white men should be beating down the door trying to get those said marriageable black women, right? So ask them, why haven't they done that yet? Because this has been going on for years. Black women have been trying to marry white men, but they're not listening. So black women, you need to ask white men, what do you need to do and or change in order to be suitable for marriage and not just dating? Because that's getting you nowhere. Between the years 2015 to 2019, listen to this, black women, you all have had 1 million more children than black men during that time span. Okay? So you guys are hooking up with non-black men. You are having babies by non-black men, but they're not marrying you. And that's where you guys need to start asking questions. And if this sounds like I'm giving you advice, I am. Because I don't have a problem with interracial dating. If you don't know my history, I was in the military for 20 years. I've traveled to 52 different countries. Okay? So I would be lying if I told you here, hey, every country that I went to, Germany, wherever else, I've only dated black women. No. So I don't care if you, try and date outside your race. You do what you want to do. What's that phrase that black women like to say? Go where you're appreciated or something like that. Then y'all should do that. But if the men that you want to marry aren't marrying you and aren't listening to all your praise and admiration, ask them why. Don't come over here. We have nothing to do with it. Because black men's interracial marriage statistics have increased. If you didn't know.
Did you hear what he just said? You do not consider us marriageable. Other women do. Interracial dating statistics have increased for black men. Increased. They've gone up. Substantially up. When it comes to dating apps, what's the number 2 race of men who are sought out for dating apps? Black men. Go figure. Black men are the second most sought out men in dating apps. And in terms of the marriage rates, in terms of interracial marriage rates, they're going up, not down, with black men. The one that you considered the worst, the one you consider for leveling up, you need us to level up. You consider us, ghetto and foul and unsuitable for marriage. Other women see it. So again, wait. Oh, you're not convinced. Okay, Media Man's gonna show you something in just a second. Now I'll show you if you don't see that. I'll see it in a bit. Hold on, it's coming.
No, black women, out of the 36% of black men that are currently married, listen to this. 79% are married to black women, which is not a surprise. However, 21% are now married to non-black women. which means that 1 in 5 married black men are married to a woman of another race, as opposed to you all with 13%. So what does that tell you? Black men will be just fine.
Black men will be just fine, ladies and gentlemen. The statistics are right there on Talk Live. You can see it for yourself. I'm lying. We used to be at an 83% clip in terms of marriage, I would say pre-2020. Now it's 2023. That's the latest census. We're now at 79%. And my prediction is that'll go down even further as we move forward in time, as black men are more accepted in society. I kid you not, that will keep dropping. That 79% will be a 76%, will be a 70%, will be a 65% in due course. Because especially the 54% of black men who are considered single and childless, and the 61% of those who are in the middle class. Kevin was saying it from day long. You didn't listen. Other women did. Started attending classes. Started understanding black African diaspora culture. And guess what they're doing now? They're starting to take them off. Especially the ones who can learn and who can earn. They're starting to take them out of the dating pool. Just saying. Lana BK, thank you very much for your comment. Would you say online dating stats are due to the fetishization of black men? Here's the thing about the fetishization of black men. I'm glad you raised that. Black men don't care. We really don't care. We really don't care. As any man who would care about being fetishized, they don't care. Do you think any Indian man would care if they were fetishized? And yet it would get their chance of being slept with even higher? No, they don't care. Would Chinese men care if they're fetishized, if that meant that more would be slept with? No, they don't care. Would any other race of men, other than black men, other than white men, care if they were fetishized, if that meant they were going to get more poontang? No, they don't care. They literally don't care. Because you know what? At the end of the day, you're being slept with. You are getting sexual satisfaction, which is what men want altogether. Do you think an Indian guy or a Chinese man or any other race of man other than black men, other than white man, would care if they were fetishized for sexual reasons, if it meant that they were going to be slept with more? No. They wouldn't. They would easily trade places with us. Because they know, at the end of the day, we won't be lonely at night. That's the end goal for men. The end goal is a win is a win. The ultimate is the win is a win. So, if we're fetishized a little bit to get a little more on the end, a little tail on the end, yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. And any other race of man would take it. But I'll let my media man, finish off here. Thank you very much for joining me at Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
This is not our fight. Your fight is not with us. You're not threatening black men by saying we're going to date and or marry outside of our race. Cool, let's see it. Because I'm going to tell you this. As a black man, I'm cocky as hell. I know damn well that black women are going to marry black men regardless. So no matter what you guys say, I'm calling your bluff. Change the statistics. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong and let me know if black women can change that narrative. Because I'm going to tell you like this, no matter what y'all say about black men, no matter how much shit you talk about black men, y'all still going to come right back here.
Because this is your last stop. This is your end game. We are the final boss. Last stop, end game, final boss, black men. That's why you're marrying us at an 85% clip. No other race of man wants to go to black women en masse. No. They don't. I could have told you that. I've told people that for months. Kevin told you that for months. Me and Man be telling you that for... Kevin told you that for months and years. Me and Man told you that for months and years. I'm telling you that for months and years. You'll always come back here. You'll always come back here. And if not you, someone else will. It's the truth. The truth is, these black men you call corny, these black men you call nerds, these black men you call undesirables are the black men you need to seek out. They're good men. They're men who deserve your attention. They're men who will work hard for you, will clothe you, will protect and provide for you. Those are the men you need to seek out. But you want a superhero. You want a king of the boardroom and a man with street cred and who has a 9-10-inch slong to destroy you in the bedroom. What white man has that? What white man has that? None do, but you still want them. But I'll tell you something. Other women starting to wise up and starting to realize that, hey, those black guys over there aren't so bad. And if we're fetishized, so be it. We're getting more poontang. So it doesn't matter to us. Other races of men would love to be in our shoes. Love it. But we don't want to take things too far, of course. We got to show we have some sort of intelligence, some sort of status, some sort of, style, grace, elegance, all these different things. But at the end of the day, if it results in a night in, for the most part, instead of a handshake and, a pat on the back and see you later, we're going to take that. We're going to take it all day long. And other men are jealous of it. White men have always been jealous of it. Just saying. Let's see if there are any comments on the... Oh, we're good to go? Yes, indeed. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers, guys. Big night. Good talking point. Let's go.
And if you think I'm lying, go look at the statistics. So yeah, you can take that from me. You want to marry white men? Prove it. And leave us alone. You can't. Gotcha.
I don't think I really know any other women who just are like that. Of course, most people marry within their race. I'm not talking about that. Black women seem to be especially loyal to black men, though, and I think it is to the death.
Because you have done this to yourselves. Your image in terms of pop culture is in the toilet. And they see black women more or less as a way to scratch an itch in terms of white men. Unless they're in the Serena category where it serves them to be with a black woman. Yeah. You'll get the odd, let me say this. You'll get the odd woman who breaks through and, that will happen, but it's very odd. The statistics showed you. Let's go back to them. Think I'm lying. Think I'm jumping out of my tree. Nope, it's not. There it is. 87% of black women in the United States and more or less throughout the Western world, let's call it, are married to black men. 13% are non-black. That has held steady, and I mean steady Eddie, for the last 30 to 40 years. Steady. Hasn't broken, hasn't changed. Even in this age of cosmopolitan life and cities and more people living in each other's spaces That hasn't. The needle hasn't moved, ladies. It hasn't moved. It hasn't moved. I'll tell you again. What black women are seen as the last choice on dating apps. It's a known fact. White guys or any other race of men will check up their own race or any other race of women before they go to black women. And I'll tell you what, the ultimate way you can get yourself into interracial spaces. I'll let you know in a minute. I'll let you know. Oh, give me a time. Hold on.
Which means that 1 in 5 married black men are married to a woman of another race.
That'll go
as
up.
opposed to you all with 13%.
That'll go up.
So what does that tell you? Black men will be just fine. This is not our fight. Your fight is not with us. You're not threatening black men by saying we're going to date and or marry outside of our race.
Nope.
Cool, let's see it. Because I'm going to tell you this. As a black man, I'm cocky as hell.
So am
I
I.
know damn well that black women are going to marry black men regardless. So no matter
So
what
am I.
you guys say, I'm calling your bluff.
Yep.
Change the statistics. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong and let me know if black women can change that narrative. Because I'm going to tell you like this, no matter what y'all say about black men, no matter how much shit you talk about black men, y'all still going to come right back here. And if you think I'm lying, go look at the statistics. So yeah, you can take that from me. You want to marry white men? Prove it.
Prove it.
And leave us alone. You can't.
Nope.
Gotcha.
I don't think I really know any other women who just are like that. Of course, most people marry within their race. I'm not talking about that. Black women seem to be especially loyal to black men, though, and I think it is to the detriment of us getting married for 2 reasons. One is that there really just is a shortage of black men. It is. And then second.
So there's that whole narrative, there's a shortage of black men. And you know what? You're right. Because there are more black men that are married. So if that's your definition of a shortage of black men who are off the dating market, you're right.
Second of all, I don't think that black culture really lends itself to nurturing black men to grow up, start your career, graduate from college, and start dating intentionally to, at some point in the near future, get a wife.
54% of black men are single and childless. 61% are in the middle class. There are black men out there waiting on you to marry. You just don't see them. You see Tyrones. You see Jahims. Sorry, if you're named Jahim. They see Jahims. You see Tyrones. You don't see any other black men. And if he doesn't match, it doesn't have the street cred for you, he's eliminated from the category. Unless you're a God-fearing woman, you're a Christian woman, that's fine. But if you are secular, and extremely so, there's only one type of man you're going. And those men are the ones with the 8 to 9 to 10 children to themselves. Sorry. It is the truth. It is rare to get a guy like me. I'll say it. I'll put myself out there. It's rare to get a guy like me. Because I've run with the best and I've run with the worst. And you can ask anybody in this town. That's the truth. So I've had both sides of things. So I see both ends. But rarely do you get that sort of street cred. Either black women are going to fall into one category or the other. It is time that black women start realizing that there are good men that are there who may not be the leader of a gang or may not be slinging drugs. Unfortunately, these are stereotypes. I do apologize for that, but or may not have some other sense of danger about them, but they're good men. They will protect, they will provide for you. It just doesn't happen to lift weights, sell drugs, be the captain of industry, and put it down in the bedroom. Black women, for the most part, are looking for all these things instead of one or two of them. Black women, other women, they'll take a 1 or 2. Absolutely. Black women need all of it. And that's your problem. That leads to your downfall. You want it all. Nothing wrong with that, but usually you mean to end up alone because of it. Sorry. Let's continue.
Okay, let's stop right there. Like I said, we're going to dismantle this one by one. Here's some more statistics for black women. Black men, take a seat. Black men's first marriage tends to be at age 33. You know where black women's first marriage is? Age 32. Right after black men. Okay? But also, there's another statistic. You brought up education. And also, let's talk about the fertility rates. Did you know black women lead in having their children at the youngest ages of all women? To the point of black women who attend college, 40% of y'all already have kids. So during those college...
Stop right there. One of the deepest, darkest secrets to black women not being able to marry any race of men, let alone white men, is because a lot of you have your children while you're still in college, while you're still in university. And no one's holding you, for the most part, no one is holding a gun to your head to have these children. You just happen to be so promiscuous and so careless at the end of the day. You did not have the family planning necessary. You didn't heed the call of marrying before you carry, that those statistics show up. Call a spade, people. 40% in this United States, and I'm sure it's a part of the Western world as well. There could be certain deviations in different countries as well. But 40% of black women would have their children in college. And look at where black men stand. On average with American Indian, Native Hawaiian, Hispanic to a certain extent, more than one other race. We're up there as well. So we gotta take our medicine too. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's never to the extent of black women. We'll get a 21 in. We'll be really close to the media, but we're only about 7 percentage points away from white guys, while you are 14 percentage points away from white women. You are 25 percentage points away from Asian women. You are 14 percentage points away from Hispanic women. That in of itself tells its own story. Where we're only 7 points away, you're 15 points away from most other races. That is insane. That is nuts. That you would see your college years should be the years where you should be finding a man, not finding a baby. Let me say that again. Your college years should be the years that you should be finding a man rather than finding a baby. Than being with child. Yes, it is the best time to have a child, but you should be marrying before you carry. So you shouldn't be having babies at a 40% clip while still in college. That's insane. And that is on you and your choices within those years. Now it speaks to your fertility as well, which is, not a bad thing. But again, it speaks to your lack of I would say piety. Lack of focus and restraint. That's the word. Restraint during these years. Yeah, we're the problem, right? Okay. We're the problem. I get it. All right. Fair. We're the problem.
years, let's say between the ages of 18 to 24, black women already have children. So do you think that helps or hurts the marriage, likelihood of black women? Because they're coming into their first marriage already with children. Black men.
That's right. They're coming into their marriages already with child. That limits your chance of having children. Think about it. Do men want to take on the responsibility of children? Of another child? Some do. But more often than not, most don't. They don't. And so that limits your chance of having children if you're already with child. If you didn't already family plan yourself. It's the old saying, a minute of pleasure means a lifetime of pain. Let's continue. Thank you very much for joining me at Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's get this. Are
at 21%. 21% of black men who attend college, they have children. They are not the highest. You guys are the highest. So there's a huge difference. So what we need to do in order to change the marriage statistics, you all, black women, specifically you, Miss Ebony, you go tell black women to control their womb and tell them to stop getting pregnant while in college so they can have a better shot at getting married. Because there is not many men that want to step up and be a stepfather for a woman who already has children.
Rarely do you see white women or Asian women or Latina women step into college and have children during those years. More often than not, white women are marrying their college sweethearts. More often than not, Latina women are marrying their college sweethearts. More often than not, Asian women are marrying their college sweethearts. Not carrying a child out of college. That is a surefire way of limiting your chances at marriage and dating. Surefire. And it's up to you, black women, to hold yourselves accountable, because that's ridiculous. You won't listen to us? Listen to yourselves. See the statistics for yourself. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I see a lot of women on social media that seem to be like so butthurt in their feelings because men are saying that a woman who has kids does not hold as high of a value in the dating market as a woman who does not have kids. I mean, let's be real, that's a fact. You cannot, hold the same value after you've successfully procreated as you did before you had kids in tow. That's a fact. Y'all can get out y'all feelings about that. It is what it is. I got a child. I know I don't hold the exact same, market value in the dating world as I did, 10 years ago before I had a child.
Okay?
Stop it right there. I can't say it better than that. I can't. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you'll find a man who wants a woman with children. Sometimes, but you have to be so good for that to happen. I've seen it myself. You have to be so good for that to happen. You have to dot the I's and cross the T's. You got to be so good for that to happen. Rarely does that happen for black women. Least married, most divorced, because when you start out in life, you have a kid in tow. A good minority of you would have a kid in tow. And nobody wants to marry a woman with a kid in tow. They don't want that burden on them. Women, black women, I'm trying to... Do not blame black men for your mishaps. It's up to you to use contraception, 30 types of contraception, 30 types of ways to stop you being a statistic. It's up to you. clearly up to you. And if you don't, then you will be a statistic. Believe me. And you'll be included in the statistic where you are the least married and most divorced. You're part of that. You'll be part of that. Let's continue.
If not, Brady Bunch it, find some dude that already has kids and you good to go. But don't place it on black men like we the problem. Absolutely not. Tell your sisters, instead of trying to, use code language to shame black men, this is not our fight. We're gonna be fine. Okay? Start talking to black women. That's your assignment.
So we let black men play around until they're 40 years old and we think that's okay. So I don't necessarily think, you think black women are any less marriageable than any other woman?
So, and that's subjective. If she's asking, do you think black women are less marriageable than any other race of women? I mean, you can ask the men. Ask non-black men how they...
Stop there for a second. Oh, shoot. Let me, let that run for a second.
Black women. And you can start by reading the Dating Divide book. They'll tell you, or if you don't believe that book...
Okay, white women, they basically this quote saying, white women, if you're listening to it on Instagram, this is the quote. White women, white men, sorry.
Go on Reddit. Go on Twitter.
White women, okay, sorry. We'll go back to it here. So you can hear it for yourself. There we go. White men that we interviewed stated that the notion that black women were both highly sexual and unsuitable for lasting relationships. White men we interviewed confirmed the notion that black women were both highly sexual and unsuitable for lasting relationships. There is a pop culture reference about you, and believe me, they're taking it to the nth degree. They may say that about black men, but the fact of the matter is black men are still getting married. So it only goes to a certain point. But for black women, it is the death knell, literal death knell. And that has to change. And you have to change it amongst yourselves because no one else is coming to save you except black men. And I'll tell you the simple solution on how to break this chain. I'll tell you the simple solution in a bit. And it served us well for many a decade, if not century, after slavery. Let's watch this, especially in the Western world. And it's still going on around the world, especially the African diaspora world. Let's continue.
And you can start by reading the Dating Divide book. They'll tell you, or if you don't believe that book, go on Reddit, go on Twitter, and post something like black women want to marry non-black men. Mm-hmm. And just let the comments, flood your system and see how they really think about y'all. Mm-hmm. Because y'all out here giving all this admiration. You're looking at these commercials and calling it corrective promotion by seeing a black woman and a white man married in a Tide commercial or some foolery like that, and y'all swoon
all the time.
But white men are watching those videos and they're like,
brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
It's the truth. You think just because you're in commercials with a white dude, that means you're going to marry one? Really? Do you really believe in make-believe that much? Really? Do you really think that dreams come true like that? Really? Do you really think that just because you watch a little Grey's Anatomy, just because you watch a little bit of Scandal, just because you watch a little... what's that show Bobby Loves Abishola? That's really gonna come true? Really? You're living in the dream world. You really are. That does not reflect reality. It does not. And it will never reflect it until you do this one thing. I'm not gonna name it yet. You have to do this one thing for that to start showing up a little more frequently, black women. Watch. Watch and I'll tell you.
And it's embarrassing because y'all enjoy it, but they're like, man, why they got to do this? Why they got to put biracial families in here?
You're insane if you think that. Everybody has flaws. Everybody has personality traits that may not be the best, for being a wife. Black women don't got those traits in any more prevalence than any other women. And for y'all to think that, you're outside of your mind. So,
okay. So again, that's subjective. So you're going to have to ask men. Because if we know that black women currently, and this is not me saying this, these are not my statistics. Bowling Green State University, they do the divorce statistics, the divorce and marriage statistics. You guys can go look at the most recent report. Came out in 2023. The last one was in 2018. And that first one, the 2018, they said black women were the least married and the most divorced. Okay? In 2023, you know what it says? Black women are the least married and the most divorced.
Stop there for a second. I'll read out the quote for you. According to the research from Bowling Green State University, black women have the highest first divorce rates and the lowest marriage rates among racial and ethnic groups. First divorce rate. In 2021, black women had the highest first divorce rate at 24.5% per 1,000 women. In 2019, the rate was 26.8. In 2018, it's 28.7. It's actually come down, but you're still the most divorced. We've already showed you're the least married. Now you know you're the most divorced. We've shown it to you. The proof is there. So don't think that we are just trying to gaslight you or we're lying to you. No. That is indeed not the case. The fact of the matter is, you got to do a better job in finding a mate. And that has a whole amount of work you need to do in terms of your self-image. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it.
That does not belong to black men. And I know it's going to happen. There's going to be some black woman that's going to say, well, when we marry outside of our race with white men, we're married at a higher rate. And like I said, I seen that gay black dude. He's been going viral talking about this. When black women marry white men, they marry at a higher rate. But you're an educated woman, and black women, you're educated, the most educated, right? Mm-hmm. I want you to do the research on that study. You know how old those references are? I think the most recent one was from, I want to say 2007, and the earliest one was from 1973 or 72. Yeah. It is 2024, and you guys are still running with this narrative that was partly made up by a divester and also using an outdated source to try and throw it in black men's face that y'all married to white men and you stay married at a higher rate. What's wrong with y'all? We're educated people here. Y'all know that's wrong. And the most current ones, which I just gave you, it actually says that black women are the least married and the most divorced. Out of all...
That's right. In terms of marriage rate, 2019, black women had the lowest first marriage rate at 22.7% per 1,000 women. In 2017, the rate was women for black women aged 30 to 34 was 40% per 1,000 women, as compared to 135.6 over 1,000 for Asian women in the same age group. And guess what is the highest interracial dated couple? Asian women and white men. And going back to the statistics he was talking about in terms of black women being the more married interracially, that dated back to 1970. And that is when black women were married at about 70 to 80% clip. Are you picking up what I'm putting down now? Are you starting to pick up what I'm putting down now? Asian women have taken over for black women from the 70s till now in terms of being the most married women of ethnic women, and that, in and of itself, means that Asian women are the most sought after by white men. Put the two pieces together, and what does that spell? I'll answer in a bit. Thank you very much for joining me in Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers.
All racial demographics. And I know it sounds like we're fighting for futility because black men is right there. You know what I'm saying? We're second to last. I mean, I don't know what y'all want to do with that information. We all struggle.
Yep.
But to be clear, black women are the least married and the most divorced.
The reason that black women are the least married is because we're the most loyal. And it's not enough black men, and our culture does not perpetuate men getting married. That's it. Ain't got nothing to do with black women.
That's a lie. It's an absolute lie. 54% of black men are single and childless. 61% are in the middle class. It's a lie.
Okay, and if it ain't got nothing to do with black women, we can leave it at that because black men are married at a higher rate. So her argument would actually be factual if we could point to it and say, well, because black women are married at a higher rate, that's why it's black men's fault. But no, and just imagine this, and this is for the black community. Would there be any argument if I sat up here and said that 36% of black women were married as opposed to 29% of black men? And then me as a black man, I'm sitting there arguing saying, oh, no, it's not our fault because this, and this. How would the black community view that? Do you think that would be on everybody's platform? That would be on national TV. Black women will be screaming at, from the heavens, saying that we're married married more than black men. But you rarely hear black men talk about this unless we're responding to some foolery like this. Think about that before y'all start, black men, nah, they not staying married and getting married. I promise you, if black women were married at a high rate, we would never hear the end of it. Hell, people lie on black men all the time. Supposedly, black women own more businesses than black men. False.
False.
Black women earn more money than black men. False.
False.
There's more 100K earners. Black women more 100K earners than black men. False.
Yeah, that's the other part of this thing that black male lies exposed. It's a double entendre. Look it up. Again, more black men earn 100K or more. More black men earning 65 to 99,999K or more. More black men earning 50 to 64K or more. Yet we're the deadbeats. Yet we are the bums. We are the worst among us. Lies! And the sad part about it is not just black women who are peddling this myth. It's black men. We'll come to that later on in the show. It is black men who are peddling this lie. And it's absurd that when you look into the numbers and statistics, we should not buy into stereotypes the way we do. But so many men do. Because ignorance is bliss, as they say. Continue.
I mean, we can go on and on. And then also the education thing. This is always being brought up in response to black women, hey, we're more educated than black men. I told y'all the statistics before. In 2021, a higher percentage of African-American women, 33%, were enrolled in college compared to white men, 25%. White women, 31%. Hispanic men, 19%. Hispanic women, 24%. And black men at 23%. Also, by 2021, 28% of African-American women aged 25 and older had a bachelor's degree or higher. This was a big increase of 40% from the 20% in 2010. However, black women still had fewer bachelor's degrees or higher compared to white men, 38%, and white women, 40%. In 2021, 23% of African American men went to college, which was the same percentage as in 2010. Additionally, 22% of black men had a bachelor's degree or higher in 2021, which was a 48% increase from 2010, when only 16% had such degrees. Fast forwarding to 2022, 26% of black adults aged 25 and older had a bachelor's degree, which is up from 14% in the year 2000. However, this is still 10% lower than the national average of 32.9%. Black women have made faster progress than black men in this area, with 28.9% of black women earning a bachelor's degree in 2022 compared to 22.8% of black men. Now, I want to be clear here, because it seems like black women are under the impression that they're just blowing black men out the water when it comes to college degrees. If y'all listen to what I said, 28.9% of black women have a bachelor's degree or higher. 28.9%, and that was in 2022. 22.8% of black men have a bachelor's degree or higher. That is literally a 6% difference. And that's what y'all want to hang your hat on? So let's just say 29%. 29 black women out of 100 have a bachelor's degree or higher. That is not the majority. 22%, let's say 23% of black men have a bachelor's degree or higher. Again, we are fighting at the bottom, okay? So don't go out there thinking that black women are just blowing black men out the water and yeah, we got all these degrees. No, man. 6% difference, okay? So I just wanted to educate the black community once again before we move into this, new quarter or this last quarter of the year. We shouldn't even be having these conversations because y'all done heard me say 2 times that we're at the bottom. Marriage, divorce, education, almost income. Black men actually make more money than black women, Hispanic men, and Hispanic women, but we're always told that we're at the bottom. Same thing with education. Black men are right there, neck and neck with black women, smack dab in the middle. 28 and 22%, Hispanic men, Hispanic women. But for some odd reason, once again, black men get blamed. Even though every race of women earn more degrees than their male counterparts. But the only time you hear this argument is from black women. Why is that? And then also,
I'll tell you why that is. It's because black women are looking for a win any way they can. There it is. Black women are looking for a win any way they can. And where they get it, they'll shout it to the rooftops. Okay, you get more bachelor's degrees than that. But ask the question. In terms of master's degrees and master's degrees and doctorates, do black women outpace black men? I'll tell you, no. You may outpace us when it comes to bachelor's degrees, but in terms of masters and doctorates, the roles reverse. You can look it up for yourself. Don't have time to do it now, because then we'll really be behind the 8 ball, really. But yes. Women will take the time to study 4 years, but in terms of 5, 6, 7, 8, that's where you have the discrepancy. That's where you see the discrepancy in terms of salaries. Continue.
Stop conflating the two. Just because you have more degrees, that don't mean you make more income. No, black men make more income than black women. I got black women who support my channel, and I don't want it to seem like I'm just piling on them, because this ain't got nothing to do with them. It's just the people that feel it's okay just to sit there and lie on black men. And that's why I had, so many of my guys on Instagram tag me in this stuff. So yeah, so hopefully that helps, level set the conversation and encourage black women to start going to white spaces and see what white men like. There's multiple platforms of, dating and relationships that are ran by, non-black men. Mm-hmm. Y'all need to start hanging out over there. And don't sit there and be silent. Ask them specific questions. What do you need black women to do and or change in order to get married to you all?
Stop right there. Thank you very much, Media Man. Excellent point. What do you need to do to start marrying y'all? I'll tell you. Media Man don't even have to answer that question. I can answer that question for him. Let's go back to those marriage statistics. I have blackdemographics.com right here. in terms of households and in terms of black marriage. Okay. So, let's go here. Marriage statistics by race. Here we go. So, 50% of Asian people are married. 31% are divorced, and it's whites at 52%, and Hispanic at 43%. Black at 30%. These are part of the new statistics from the U.S. Census. So this is pretty much the same thing around the world. Yeah, there is no difference. And what did we already say in terms of which race of people would be interracially married with white men, in particular, more? Asian women, number 1. Number 2, Hispanic, outside of their own race. Number 2, Hispanic. Number 3, any other race. And then black women would be last. Ladies, black women in particular. If there's one thing that would increase your chances of dating and marrying white men, start dating and marrying black men. There it is. I call it the restaurant theory. People would never go to a restaurant that their own people wouldn't go to. You wouldn't go to a Chinese restaurant that wasn't well attended by Chinese. You wouldn't go to a Jamaican restaurant that wasn't attended by Jamaicans. You wouldn't go to an Indian restaurant that wasn't well attended by Indians. Why would a white man want to take on a black woman, seeing all these statistics, and also them not marrying their own? Something must be wrong with that. All of a sudden, white guys get on the back of their head, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't take a chance on these women if their own people won't take a chance on themselves. The restaurant theory, I call it. If you step into any restaurant, any reputable, I wouldn't say high-end, but well-subscribed, in-demand restaurant. An in-demand restaurant will always have, when it comes to ethnicity, will always have its people in there for the most part. Same goes for marriage. No other race of man is going to take a chance on black women unless black men take a chance on those women. And if black men aren't marrying you, and you're not marrying black men, no other man's going to come for you. There it is. You need to start dating and marrying, considering them seriously, black men. Why do you think that black women were the most sought after race of women during 1970? Because they're married to black men at a 60 to 70% clip. Black men wanted to marry their women. That's fallen off the table now. Why? Because black women aren't marrying their men anymore. So the more black men you marry, the more white guys will say, those women are married by their black men. I wonder why. Let me go and find out. You'll start seeing black women being taken off the marriage pool quite quickly. Again, the restaurant theory. More of their own people subscribe to that restaurant, other people start subscribing to that restaurant. Choose any restaurant in any city, in anywhere, any other part of the world. Any ethnic restaurant. If their own people don't buy into it, why would anybody else? If their own people don't buy into their women, why would anybody else? Start marrying black men, black women, and then you will not be the least married and most divorced. And not just marry them, stay with them. That's the secret. It's not to ask white guys, what should I do? No, it is to see yourself as being desirable by your own. And once you're desirable by your own, guess what? Other people will want to see why you're so desirable by your own. Asian women, very, very, for the majority, marry their own ways and at a very high rate. I think it's a 50 to 60% clip, near 58%. So guess what they're gonna? Guess what? Most other men are gonna do. They're gonna turn around and say, those Asian women are fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive. They like marrying their men. There must be something good about them. Let me go and take a chance on them. Same thing with a Hispanic. Then if not them, they'll go to Hispanic men. If not them, at the end of the road, it's black. And there it is. There it is. Start marrying black men. Other men will see you as desirable. And they'll start dating and marrying you too. It's not stupid to think about it, but it is sort of common sense. If your own race loves you, other races will love you. Bish, bash, bosh. Anyways, let's move on. We dispelled some rumors there that black men are least desirable. No, we're very desirable. And those marriage rates in terms of our own race are starting to go down, not up. Remember that. And we only have one person to thank for that. And the sooner you know about that, the better. Anyways, let's go into this. Here we go again. Dr. Umar Johnson. Dr. Umar Johnson was here recently. Very recently. Let me see how much time we got here. Can we do this? Yeah, we can do this. Let's just wrap this up quite quick. Dr. Umar Johnson was recently here. And here in Toronto, that is. And he was giving a talk at one of our more established, I think it was at the Real Jerk, one of the more established restaurants. And a friend of mine asked me if I wanted to go, and I said no. Because this guy is a peddler of lies, and he does not exactly keep his promises, like building a school, for instance. Where did that idea go? Remember that black school that he was trying to build? That didn't exactly come off. So, here we have another lie by Dr. Umar saying that black women are raising their children alone. That's a lie. And we're going to get into it right now here on Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me. We're going to run right through this, so let's get into it.
Million people incarcerated, and then you whittle that down to the black community. It's about 37 to 38%.
Let's go back a little bit, just a bit.
It's always
of winning to shut up.
But here's the thing, Brother Donnell. It's not just our women who need to learn the art of when to express their anger and when to hold it. Our men need to learn it as well. Black women have been charged with raising our children with almost no masculine support.
With no masculine support, alluding to the fact that black men aren't taking care of their children. And we're going to break this down step by step. This is the same narrative
More lies.
that has been pushed for those same 50 years as he's talking about.
50 years now.
But isn't part
and
of
raising children is not an easy thing.
But
and they've had to do that almost by themselves.
Couldn't some of that be contributed to brothers getting locked up? Shouldn't that?
Oh, it is.
Okay, so there's that narrative again. It's always, well, because black men are locked up, that's why they're not able to take care of their children. You guys already know that it's only 1.9 million people incarcerated in the United States. That's everybody, not the black community, everybody. And I love...
That's right. So therefore, white people, black people, Indian people, Native individuals, Hispanic individuals, everybody. Only 1,900,000 people are incarcerated in the U.S. And those rates are, they vary from country to country, of course. So therefore, they are a fraction of the population. I think they're less than 1% of the population are locked up. Mm-hmm. Less than 1% of the population, because you're talking about 330 million. Oh, let's go there. Let's go there. You're talking about 330 million Americans. Yes. Let's go there quickly. So you're talking about 1.9 million of 330 million in the United States right now. 1.9 divided by 330 million. That equals, about 5, well, I would say 0.5% anyways. 0.9%. Yeah, I would say less than 1%. That's what that would read. Less than 1% of the prison populace is in jail in the United States.
Reciting that statistic because it puts things into perspective. If we know that we have almost 335 million people, kids, juveniles, currently living in the United States, and then you extrapolate that out to the black community, our 47.5 million, what we make up in the population, which is about 14.5%. So if we have 1.9 million people incarcerated, and then you whittle that down to the black community, it's about 37 to 38% of black people that make up that 1.9 million. Black people, not black men, black people that are completely incarcerated, federal, state, jails, juveniles, so on and so forth, right? Do you think that that's a large enough population of people that would remove black men as a whole from their households or their fatherly responsibilities? No. And that's why I always push back on that, because I don't think the black community is aware. And that's why, since we have Thanksgiving coming up, I always put out that challenge to black men. When you guys are around your families, I would love for you to just spark up a conversation and ask everybody that's sitting around the table or just chilling, watching the football game, ask them, hey, how many black men do you think are currently incarcerated? Just throw it out there. You will hear some of the most craziest numbers. If you know that there's 20 million black people black men living in the United States, and you'll hear people say, I think it's about 50%. That will be 10 million black men locked up. Or they'll say 30%, 40%. And it's like, why would you think that? And the reason why is because of this social conditioning that people like Dr. Umar say. So that's why I always say, like, yeah, black women do have a right or have a reason to think that black men are less than, because they've been taught that. Nobody has told them the truth. So if you were under the impression that half of your men was locked up, then yeah, you'll be like, yeah, it's y'all fault. But it's not true.
I'm not saying black
Absolutely,
men
it is not true. Let me stop
exclusively-
that there. 97 to 99% of black men are free tax-paying citizens. Believe it or not, it's the truth. I would say less than 1% of black men are in jail. I'll give it 1%. Let's go 1%. Let's go as high as 3%, which is totally untrue. I would say 1% of black men are in jail. So the social conditioning, as he said, or the brainwashing of black people to think that more black people are in jail is insane. Because that is indeed not the case. 97 to 99% of black men are free tax-paying citizens. Yet black people won't even do the math for themselves. Less than 1% of the U.S. population are in jail. So guess what? When it comes down to black populace, we're only about, as he said, 35, 36% of the jail population. It's still less than 1% of black men who are in jail. I'll even go 1 to 3%. There you go. Another lie dispelled.
To blame for that, without question. the war against black men is the reason why our sisters have had to raise the children, by themselves. But be that as it may, the fact remains.
The fact of the matter is, Dr. Umar Johnson, you're lying. You're lying. You're simply lying. You haven't even done the research for yourself. And for such a learned individual such as yourself, not do the research for yourself, sir, shame on you. No wonder I'm glad I didn't turn up to your visit to Toronto. I'm glad I didn't, because I would hear more lies. And that's what I wanted to have the show about tonight. It's because of lies even peddled by our own black men need to be dispelled. Immediately. Expediently. With swift and utter calculated movement. Needs to be put away. Because that is not the case. Because that is adding to recidivist rates. They think black men are only allowed to be in prison. And it's our own people, our own black men who are perpetuating this horrible stereotype. Let's continue.
That 67% of our children are raised by women alone.
67% of our children are raised by black women alone. 67%. Okay, that would leave 33% being raised in two-parent households or by black men or other living conditions. 67%.
And so when a black woman has to raise the children, play daddy, okay, and mom, pay the bills, deal with her own issues medically, psychologically, and otherwise, and then turn around and be told that she's not humble enough for men, I can understand why sisters might react to that.
So let's slow walk this process so we can educate the black community. Dr. Umar said that 67% of black children are being raised by black women alone. Okay? And I made sure I screenshotted this so you guys can understand. So, this is what the black community gets wrong when discussing single-parent households. And I'm pretty sure you guys know where I'm going with this. For starters, Dr. Umar is wrong. He's citing 67% from 2012 to 2013. And the 67% represents single-parent households led by black women, black men, and other living arrangements. To be clear, black community, the 67% does not represent black women alone. Children in single-parent families by race and ethnicity in the United States, 2013 to 2012, black or African American, 2012, 2013, 67%. Okay? That will be 6.4 million among both years. Okay? The most recent percentage of single-parent households in the black community is currently at 63%. And I put a however there. And I want to show you guys from 2022, this is the most recent. Right there, it says 63%. So it has decreased by almost 800,000, I believe. 63% is at 5.6 million children being raised in single-parent households. But like I said, there was a however in there, right? So, single-parent family does not necessarily mean that one parent does not contribute. What did Dr. Umar say? He said that black women are raising these children alone.
On their own.
That's not true. You're putting false burden on black women and you're making them believe it. And now they're going to be more angry or ornery because of the fact, you saying that they got reason not to be quiet because they're in the impression that they're carrying the load for all these children when they're absolutely not. Okay, so let me finish. This is not from me. This is actually the definition, okay? It says, it simply means that one parent is primarily responsible for raising the child without a partner living in the household, even if the other parent may still provide some financial or emotional support.
Stop. Thank you, Umar. Dr. No, I will not thank Dr. Umar. I can tell you that. Thank you, Media Man, for that. Yes, it is reprehensible that 60% of family homes within the black community that have children within them only have one parent. in those households. However, it does not mean that the other parent is not involved within that child's life. That's why they say that black fathers are some of the more involved fathers in their children's life. Because just because they live in separate places doesn't mean those fathers or mothers, but mostly fathers, because as court jurisprudence has already stated to us, most of the time, children are raised or custodially go to their mother rather than to their father. And that does not mean that black men somehow disappear and into the ether and are not involved in their father and their child's lives. That is not the truth. Black men are some of the more involved fathers in a child's life. Part of the reason why marriage statistics tend to be better with black men, because we take raising a child with our wives and with our partners seriously. We don't shirk our responsibilities, for the most part. We are there in our children's lives. We are there for first day of school and graduation, as Andre 3000 said in Ms. Jackson. We tend to be there. We tend to want to be there. And this stereotype that black men are not involved in their children's lives needs to end. Even though what we need to do better at is live together the way we used to. That is a key point. That's up for black women to, for the most part, start accepting their black men in their homes and raising children in a two-parent household. Because as you raise children in a two-parent household, it's a much greater chance of success for those children. Point blank, period. Point blank, period.
Okay, and then the definition down here, a single parent family, is one where a child is raised by only one parent due to factors like divorce, death of a partner, or a single parenthood choice. Okay? But that would be, let me bring myself up here. That would be, like you'd be like, okay, well, it says may, right? So how do I know that black men are involved in their children's lives? You guys know where I'm going with this. This is why. This is from the Legacy Report. It says mothers echo the same reports about fathers. And I'll go ahead and read it. Lest we believe that these statistics are skewed by the father's own self-reporting, other studies based on maternal reports echo these findings. So you guys heard that the consistent pushback in the black community is that black men did the survey when they asked them, are you involved in your children's lives? And black men, of course, said, yeah, I am. And they were like, well, you can't use that study because, of course, they're going to say that they're involved. But in a 2008 survey of low-income mothers, researchers found that non-resident white fathers were less involved with their children than African-American and Latino fathers. You guys are like, well, that's 2008. Let's skip up 10 years. In the 2018 study of non-marital births, mothers reported not just black women. It says mothers. Mothers reported that black fathers shared responsibilities more frequently and displayed more effective co-parenting than Hispanic and white fathers.
Once again, in a 2018 study of non-marital births, mothers reported that black fathers shared responsibilities more frequently and displayed more effective co-parenting than Hispanic and white fathers. Why do I repeat that? Because that's good enough reason to show that why other races of women are marrying black men. Because more often than not, other races of women are starting to not believe the stereotype and the hype. Black men, black fathers are very involved in their children's lives. It's shown here. So if we are involved in our children's lives, chances are, if someone takes a chance on us on marriage, chances are those children have a great upbringing. Those children will tend to be raised by two parents rather than one. Those children will have a better chance at being well-adjusted citizens. If only black women, and other races of women if they wish to, but black women start taking a chance on us more. And start choosing men that are worthy of fatherhood. 54% of black men are single and childless, 61% are in the middle class. If they start choosing from this pool, imagine marriage rates, imagine the amount of children that will not be in single parent homes. Those single parents households of 63% will go down. But black women are seeking a certain type of man to be fathers. And so, when doing so, those women tend to end up in single parent homes. But that doesn't mean that those fathers, who may not be the paragons of virtue and protection and provision, won't be involved in their children's lives. I've seen it myself in my own family. And black men tend to be very present. If not through marriage, but definitely through child rearing. In terms of child support. Monetary and otherwise. More lies that need to be dispelled now. I told you I was going to go there, and I'm telling you that I did.
That black fathers shared responsibilities more frequently and displayed more effective co-parenting than Hispanic and white fathers. That's important because when it says mothers, that completely debunks that false.
Hello. I have an audience member who joined in here. If you would like to come see the statistic for yourself, you may do so.
I don't need to see statistics.
Well,
I need to look around me and see who's
that is ad hominem. That is ad hominem. That is ad hominem, Renee.
What are you talking about?
Let's see here. Right here.
Go ahead and show
I have an audience
you
member
have.
who joined me here.
You
right
tell
here.
me from the friends that you have.
Here.
You tell me from the friends that you have.
Here we are.
Hello.
Here it is.
You tell me from the
that
friends
is
that you
the statistic right
have.
here.
You can show me whatever statistics you
well,
want.
if you
can
don't
put
choose
any
to see
statistic together
the
to make
statistic for
whatever
yourself,
you
dear.
want true. But I'm letting you know right now, from the people that are around me, from the people that I know, black men are not emotionally there. They're not financially there. Period. End of story. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, that is not true.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That is not
Name one
true.
that is.
That is
Name
not
one that
true.
is. In your head. How many men do you know? How many men do you know that are fathers to kids that are there emotionally and financially without duress?
That is your own father.
Volunteer. No, he was around. He was married. He was a husband.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
He was around.
Yeah, well, you asked me for one example. Here's an example. I just gave you
others? I'm talking about not married, single fathers with women they're not with anymore.
Yes.
That are present in the kid's life.
Yep.
And financially present in the kid's life.
Well, I would say that... Wait. I would say it would be for... that person's siblings, if we're taking into account them... I cannot name them here because I don't want to put their name in public in the public domain.
Would you say it's a passing grade for all the men that you know that are single fathers that are emotionally and financially there? Is it a passing grade or is it a failing grade?
It's a passing grade.
It's a passing grade?
It's a passing grade.
I'm gone.
It's a passing grade.
Now you're making it up.
Listen.
No.
Your in-laws show you proof of that already. In-laws.
Let's see.
Think about it.
I'm talking not husbands, right? I'm talking
No. Think about it.
Single fathers.
Yes. Think about it. Your in-laws. See them? Who? Who's not?
You're talking about
the in-laws. I would like you to go up and think about that.
2. That's 2. Any others?
You told me to bring you some, and I gave you some.
I said, is there a passing grade or a failing grade? For the amount of
passing
men that you know,
grade.
Hey, for
passing
the amount of men that
grade.
you know,
passing grade.
if you were to give a number to the amount of men that you know in your head
Yes.
that are single fathers,
Yes.
and how many of them are actually actively in their life financially,
Passing grade.
financially and emotionally, it's a passing grade?
Passing grade.
Oh, please.
Your in-laws show you that statistic for yourself. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I appreciate my audience for coming to see me in full, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I gotta clip this. Somehow, some way, I've got to clip this because I showed you in real time that within my own family, within my own in-laws, that is indeed the case. That is indeed the case. And she conceded that point on 2 of them, let alone many others. Look within your own family, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll see black men in and around doing what needs to be done in terms of fatherhood. And as much as this, and as stated, in terms of stereotype, I show the statistics and they don't want to hear them. They don't want to say them. They don't want to hear them. What can I do? When statistics are shown blue in the face. Ladies and gentlemen, in the words of the Godfather, Kevin Samuels himself, you can't make this shit up. Just can't make it up. Let's continue here.
Nate, let's skip up 10 years. In the 2018 study of non-marital births, mothers reported not just black women. It says mothers. Mothers reported that black fathers shared responsibilities more frequently and displayed more effective co-parenting than Hispanic and white fathers. That's important because when it says mothers, that completely debunks that false narrative that black woman made up and said that 92% of the biracial children that black men had, they weren't in their children's lives. We already debunked that. You guys have seen that before. She flat out blatantly lied. The Medium website, they posted it and had to retract it. I have a whole video explaining this. So that's why I know black men are involved in their children's lives, because it has been studied. Mothers echoed the same reports, and also black men echoed the same reports as well. And here's the report if you guys want to read it yourself. It's on PubMed, of course. PubMed is a reputable source. Race/ethnic differences in non-resident fathers' involvement after a non-marital birth.
Now, again, I could have shown her this proof myself, this audience member, yet I want you to see here and talk about it. I showed her the statistics myself. I don't start facts or say facts without bringing facts, and those are the facts right there. You can do the research yourself. You can go back. You can see either refer to my show tonight or Medium Man show. Ladies and gentlemen, it is what it is. It is what it is. Black fathers are there for their children, if not for being within their children's lives. They may not be in the same household, but black men are there. Still there. Financially and emotionally. More so than you would think possible.
Before you go, here's another fun fact. Since we like to use the per capita argument. By per capita, the black population has a higher percentage of children being raised in...
And do note, before we go there, let's go back for a second. And do note, remember, when statistics are staring them blue in the face, what's the next thing they do? They plead ignorance. They say they don't want to know. They don't want to know. All they have as anecdotal evidence is what's happening in their own lives. But I'm here to say that is indeed not the case. Let's continue.
Here's another fun fact. Since we like to use the per capita argument, by per capita, the black population has a higher percentage of children being raised in single-parent households. But by total numbers, white and Hispanic families have more children living in single-parent households. Let me show you guys something because I don't think I've ever shared this before. And this is from 2022. I made the report succinct so you guys can see it yourselves. So, in the United States, black or African American single-parent households, 5.6 million, which is 63.2%, which is the highest. But Hispanics and white people, Hispanics first, 7.4 million, 41.8%, and non-Hispanic white families, 7.7 million children living in single-parent households. So, let me bring myself up here. And I know you guys are like, well, the percentage is larger for black people and we have a smaller population. I understand that. But again, do you guys think the kids care? Do you think the kids care that black people lead in percentage? However, Hispanic and white people have more children living in single-parent households?
Another bit of stereotypical, anecdotal issues that need to be put to rest now. As Media Man has already stated, black men percentage-wise, black people percentage-wise tend to live in there are more percentage of black children living in single-parent households. Yes. However, in terms of actual per capita number, more Hispanic children live in single-parent households. More white children live in single-parent households. More Asian and Pacific Islander children live in single-parent households. No. More Hispanic, Latino, and non-Hispanic white children live in single-parent households. Sorry, not Asian and Pacific Islander. No. But you don't hear them being called out for being single-parent children or living in a or being stereotypically single-parent. No. Who is it usually levied upon? Black people, and more specifically, black men. Because more often than not, the children are raised by the mother than the father. Such is the jurisprudence of the family courts. They'll always ask for the children to go live with their mother than they are with their father. Even though in most circumstances, being for a boy to live with a black father, especially during their adolescent years, it's a much better prospect than living with their mother. Their prospect of adjustment is way higher being in a father's home than in a mother's home, especially for a male child. But the fact that they are involved in their children's lives altogether with is the main thing, and that is another stereotype that needs to be broken down. Black men are in their children's lives. And people will put their head in the sand and be ignorant to it. And it's ridiculous. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live, ladies and gentlemen. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's go.
Do you think they care? No. So I understand the argument of the percentages. However, that's what almost over 2 million more children that are living in single-parent households. So that's why when we have this per capita argument, we have to put things into perspective. Instead of just saying, well, it's a higher percentage. Kids don't care. Same thing when we're talking about adoption. The focus is always on black folks, like that white man did that video, and I had to respond to that. But if you look at the statistics, there's far more white kids that are in, foster homes. Okay? And he had the nerve to speak on black business when it ain't got nothing to do with him. Stay your ass over in the white community and discuss it with your women, why they putting all these kids in foster homes. Okay? So that's why we need to have these conversations So people like Dr. Umar and anybody else that want to get involved in these conversations, they leave out things on purpose. So black women can continue with this narrative that they got to be strong and independent, and we did this all by ourselves. But I find it quite odd that when that Turkish woman went viral, now all black women have great experiences with black men.
I don't give a how many valid.
There it is. You remember that Turkish woman that from Germany that we feature here in Talk Live, say about a month and a half ago, who's telling all these black women to stop hating on their black men because they're good men, because she herself, Miss Sadia, I believe, she herself was with a black man and she only dates black men and they have been terrific to her. Now how many black women got butthurt by that? And the problem is you get a lot of white guys getting into a black space and saying that black men are deadbeat dads. And for the love of Christ, black women follow right lockstep with what they're saying. And we don't know why. Could it be that their distaste for black men is there when there is no need? That even though they live in separate households, the fact of the matter is that black men are in their children's lives? I showed it tonight on Talk Live. Just now. Where I had to tell an audience member that being my sister, telling her, because she was listening to the show in the other room, she herself had to concede there are 2 or 3 of her in-laws who were great fathers to their children. It could be more. Funny that. But anyways, here we are. When a German woman of Turkish descent, of course, speaks on said issues and said that black men are terrific, then you get a black woman chiming in just like this.
Points that German woman had, or if she was right or wrong, she don't get a chance to speak on black women, black love, black marriages, and black anything. And this is coming from a black woman that's been with her black husband for 15 years. And I rap for black men.
Fathers was in the household just to respond to her. Never seen love like that on social media before. Never knew a love like this before. I'd never seen black women say that, man, my dad was here. Even though my mom wasn't married, he was always taking care of me. I still talk to my dad. Y'all remember that? I did a video about it. I noticed that. Just to spite her, they told the truth. Ain't that crazy? Lastly, let's not forget that 54% of black men have never fathered children, with only 46% ever fathering children. On the other hand, 61% of black women have ever birthed a child, with 39% of never birthing a child. That's a 15% difference, okay, between the 2015 and 2019 years. Okay, and then you guys can see that here, 46%, 61%, and we can thank Black Demographics for putting this in its own little graph here, and then you go.
So what does that tell you? It tells you that black women are going outside of their race to have children, well, with white men or any other men. But they're not marrying them. And whose fault is that? I'll let you have a think of that.
Down, you have black men and black women, 54% no kids for black men, 39% for black women. And then also, one of the most important statistics, it says that 66% of black fathers live with their partners at their first childbirth, whether that's married or cohabitating. However, we cannot say the same thing for black women. Only 41% of black women actually live with their partners at their first child's birth. That's crazy. And this is from the National Center for Health Statistics by way of the CDC, just published 2023 January, okay? And then also the one that black community likes to get mixed up, they say by the time black men are 80 or 40 years old, 81% of them have children. If you're gonna believe that, then you got to look at black women statistics, 87%. Moving on. And also the most damning figure that Dr. Umar will probably have a problem with is that between 2015 and 2019, between ages 15 to 49, black women had birthed 1 million more children than black men during that time frame. 1 million more, Dr. Umar. Did you know that? There it is right there. 1 million more black women with children than black men.
So let's put that into context. Could it be that a lot of these single-parent homes were raised with white men as well? Think about it. Would you think that a lot of these single-parent homes that black women are involved and run for the most part involve children that are non-black? And yet who's catching hell? Ah, I see. It's us. Even though they have more children than we do, and yet those men don't catch the hell we do. Make that make sense. You'd think that black women would be just as upset with white men as or any other race of men than they would be with black men. But you don't see that, do you? So insidious is such a mindset that a group of people who are part of the problem are exonerated. Make that make sense.
In that 2015, 2019, 15 to 49, 307,000 more black women than black men. But despite that, more than 550,000 black men married than black women. And also, black men are twice as likely to marry outside of their race than black women. I know Dr. Umar going to have a field day with that. He probably going to focus on that. Outside of black women have all of these kids with different men. So, I mean, you can do with that information what you want, Dr. Umar. Okay? And I also put right here, so where should the black community's attention be focused on? Black men or black women? And I'm specifically talking about the fertility rates. Black men can be blamed for other shit if that's what the black community wants to do. But it will not be for the fertility rates. Anything to do with it. The problem is black women. So start focusing on who needs the help the most. Start talking about black women's maternal patterns because it's all effed up right now. And one thing that I hate when I do these kind of, posts.
Before he goes into that, so we have two issues that we need to deal with. And he's absolutely right about it. Black women having children while in college. 40% of college of black female college attendees have children before they leave college. Instead of trying to find and marry that college sweetheart before carrying the child for them. And then you have black women having a birth rate that far outweighs that of black men. 46% compared to 61%. A 15% difference. 1 more million children. And you can carry that through many a Western country. So what does that mean? They're having children with other races of men who just so happen not to be catching the blame for it. It's always falling on the black man's shoulders, isn't it? But we'll still get married. Have kids anyway. He will. Mm-hmm.
And I'll go on TikTok, and it's always an argument. It's always a struggle. It's people in there saying, well, yeah, but, it's not just black women. It's everybody's fault. No, bullshit. For this situation, we're going to sit here and focus on black women. We're not going to do everybody's involved. We're not going to do this whole thing run around about, well, it's the fact that black men. No.
No, it's you.
We're not going to do that. So every time I see somebody
black women
refute this stuff with that type of argument, I'm blocking you. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Because I ain't got time for that shit. I don't have time for people to try and overlook statistics. That's one of the main reasons why I don't watch certain, panel shows, because of the fact that people are still spinning their own anecdotal experiences when the facts are looking you smack dab in the face. Not going to do that over here. So if I see it again, and this is to my TikTok audience, I'm going to post it over there. If I see y'all asses use that argument, I'm not talking to my followers, just anybody that comes across my platform. You come over there with this foolery, I'm blocking you.
And that's all that needs to be said from my man, Media Man. Thank you so much, Media Man, for doing these wonderful, wonderful deep dives into these statistics and showing the truth about black fatherhood and the birth rate and where the blame needs to be placed and the marriage rate and where the need needs to be placed again. Let's get back to a full cam and let's finish off the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I am all about fairness and dispelling of rumors. And quite simply, a lie been told on black men for years. And certain types of men have gotten away with it. And certain types of women have failed to become accountable for it. And if there are two conclusions to take away from tonight, they are these. Black women, if you want to be the least married and most divorced, start marrying black men. If you want to interracially date black women to a greater degree, start marrying black men. If you want to interracially marry more, start marrying black men. And that goes back to my restaurant theory. The more of that ethnic group attends that ethnic restaurant, other ethnic groups will want to attend that restaurant too. Yeah? So if you want to interracially date more, if you want to interracially marry more, if you want to be taken seriously by white men and other men, start marrying black men. There's a reason why in 1970 you were the most dated race of men, married race of men for white men. It was black women. Why? Because you married your men at a 60 to 70% clip at that time. Not anymore. And remember, your pop culture look does you no service. It does you a disservice and a huge one at that. Secondly, in terms of the birth rate, in terms of fatherhood, black men are some of the most involved fathers that there are. Let that be known. Let that be said. I'll say it till my dying day. And I see it all around me. But the one group who don't, well, two groups. The two groups that don't notice it are indeed white men, but most disappointingly, black women. Because even if they don't live in the same household, doesn't mean that those black men don't participate in the lives of their children. They're there at the first day of school and graduation, yes. They're there with the child support. They're there with the emotional support. They're there even though they're not in the same household. What you need to do, black women, start marrying these men. You want a better look in interracial dating and marriage sweepstakes? Start marrying black men. Also, regarding birth rate. 48% of black men have had children in a lifetime. 61% of black women have had children in a lifetime. There's 1 million babies. There's a 15% disparity in the statistics. What does that mean? There are more interracial babies coming from black women than there are from black men. And guess what? Those fathers from other races aren't catching hell like us. They're exonerated. They're put into the back pages. They're not even noticed. And yet, black men are catching hell for it. Well, that's part of the reason why I wanted to have tonight's show, because I wanted to dispel the black male lies. Outright, utter lies and stereotypes that family have come down to try to instill. But it's not even the case. Such is the struggle that we have to deal with. And I will continue it till my last breath. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We're going to end it tonight. Great show, a long show, but I wanted to dispel a few rumors out there, dispel a few myths out there. But again, I'm going to get back to the work of, well, myself, and also, well, there's a bit of a basketball game that I can see in the background here that looks pretty darn good. Anyway, so again, I am going to go see that. Looks like it's a good game between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Los Angeles Lakers. But, again, the Celtics wiped the floor with the New York Knicks earlier on. I can see that. But anyway, it's always good to see the TNT crew back in town. Only the best sports commentator show in history, bar none. Bar none. There's no one else. They are the standard to which everyone else is judged. Simple as. Anyways, back to it. Glad that Arsenal won tonight. And we're going to get out of here. Talk Live. We're done here for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night with another show, another topic. I'll let you know during the day. And I appreciate you being here with me and doing this deep dive into black male lies exposed. I thank you very much for joining me in Talk Live. And we'll be back with another show tomorrow night. Look forward to seeing you then. And good night from Toronto. And thank you very much for joining me in Talk Live here on YouTube. Another show will be forthcoming tomorrow night. And, of course, you'll have the Talk Live minutes available to you. And, of course, anything that I've sourced out tonight, do know that I am. Do note that I have, everything's sourced here and is available for you on YouTube. And also, do subscribe to Media Man. He did a wonderful bit of information here, and he deserves your subscription and your membership.